Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back with another video, and today I have got some Transformer stuff to talk to you guys about. Some of the stuff that's happened over the past week or so. I kind of missed some of it. Some of it has to do with a Tiger Electronics game, has to do with some Takara Tomy exclusives, and some Target exclusives as well. I've got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon or becoming a channel member today. Okay, so I hope everybody is safe at home, watching Transformers on different media sites. In the meantime, probably some of us are ready to get out of the house, start collecting some Transformers and do some toy hunting. Some of you guys have already found some stuff at Walmart. The only thing that I was able to get so far has been a Cliff Jumper. Actually, my wife found it while grocery shopping and made me a happy camper when it came back. Maybe I might do a toy review soon on that one. But I wanted to talk more about this Super Megatron, which you can get on Hasbro Pulse. It is a Takara Tomy exclusive, but you're already able to get it on Hasbro Pulse, and it is a retool of Titan's Return Galvatron, which you can see from the robot mode. And I had already talked about this in a previous video. The thing about this one in particular, we're starting to get a lot more images on him, and in particular is the fact that he does upgrade into Ultra Megatron. And if you take a closer look at that face, you'll notice that it's very much reminiscent of Transformers The Last Knight Megatron, with that weird mouth plate, which I guess some of us really need to have when we're going grocery shopping. So it's I guess maybe it's a welcome addition for some. I don't particularly care for it. I actually like the regular Megatron face. It does have a weird, headband on the top, but I think that is something to do with his revival when he becomes Super Megatron in the manga. And a direct image from Takara Tomy actually has a, comparison of him next to Star Convoy, which here he is next to his smaller self. And then you have the larger, him in his Ultra Megatron mode versus Star Convoy in his Super mode there. And believe it or not, and, going by the translation itself, this is accurate to the manga, sorry. But that is something that some people were complaining about and saying that, oh, he's too small. And it's no, actually, he's just the right size. And I think he is something that is well worth getting. There is a rumor about more Walmart reissues, and we're obviously curious about what they're going to be. But according to these new mysterious, listings, is a red Soundwave and a red Megatron, and they're both Gen 1, G1, so then I'm guessing that they're going to be reissues. The issue I have with it, of course, has to do with Megatron, and that is because, Megatron can't be a gun in unless he's got some bright colors on him. So we might see a bright red Megatron toy if they actually decide to reissue him, and he might only be reissued in certain states. My local Walmart does not stock reissues at all. I can never find any of that stuff. I even have a hard time finding the Earthrise stuff, and even the Walmart exclusives usually don't show up at my local Walmart. They don't care about, the toy department. So, maybe you might see it in your area, but we don't know anything yet. It's a speculation at this point at best. Now, we did get further images from the Figure King magazine, and this one in particular has to do with RC. I'm really digging her car mode now, looking at the Masterpiece, MP51 RC, but my issue with her with her robot mode, and she looks good in poses and stuff like that, but I really don't care for that chest plate hanging so low. I think that the War for Cybertron mold looks to be the better deal. And looking at a closer look at Snapdragon, and the is going to be coming with the Decepticon road team. I'm messing up on their names, but I'm going to get you closer images here. Now, the one thing about it is that Roller Force himself is he actually gets a remold slightly into G1 Barricade. So I'm wondering, at least maybe if they're going to do that in the War for Cybertron trilogy, if they're going to give us a Micromaster Barricade. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they don't. Granted, I mean, I do like Snapdragon. I think his dragon mode looks a little weird there with the mouth, you know, looking at closer images of him, but his robot mode looks great. His jet mode looks great. And you know, seeing, you know, how he transforms and all I'm really eager to see how well they pull off Snapdragon. And Double Dealer, I gotta say, also looks fantastic as well. I've been clamoring on about him since Toy Fair. I also love the fact that, you know, you can go on, I think Hasbro Pulse, I think it is, they're sold out of him right now, but they have the cassette packs that 2 of them are supposed to be his Power Master partners, and he does have a chest opening that allows you to store his you know, Power Master, kind of like, it's not really storing his Power Master partners, because if you look at his abdomen there, that was supposed to be where the engine's supposed to go. So they're kind of like trying to get around it without actually forcing you to use the Power Master gimmick. But it's still really cool that they made him both Autobot and Decepticon, because he has a flip changing you know, shoulder pads, so he can switch between Autobot or Decepticon, because he's really not loyal to either. And having a Transformer who actually is loyal to neither is a pretty cool concept. I know we had Punch and Counterpunch, but Punch was an Autobot who kind of had a split personality as a Decepticon, and maybe it might be a discussion that I might need to cover in a future video. Now, we do have confirmation, at least now according to this map image that we have here, that the Earthrise line is going to go with 4 waves, and we probably are going to see more different Autobots and Decepticons out of this, probably with Scorponok and Skylynx and you know, who else we don't know. And we also know that it's part of a trilogy, so come this time next year, we'll see what comes in the future. Maybe we might see a Rodimus Prime and a Galvatron, but you know, that's, you know, for speculation, of course. Now, speaking of, you know, exclusives that we, you know, are seeing, we are going to be getting 2 Target exclusives, and one is the twins from the Decepticons, which is Pounce and Wingspan, and Thundercracker and Skywarp. Now, I have, you know, sitting on my shelf here, the Henkei, you know, Classics mold, which is smaller, but I do need to get my hands on the Earthrise Starscream. And now that they are doing Thundercracker and Skywarp for sure, which we kind of knew they were going to do so, and I am going to be waiting hopefully for the Coneheads, but getting closer images here, we can see, you know, they're just straight up doing Thundercracker and Skywarp, and it's a 2-pack. So you don't have to worry about like not being able to get it, unless of course you don't have a Target in your area, or, you know, if you live in another country. And I think from what I understand, from what I've been told from people outside of the US, that like Target exclusives like never make their way to their toy shelves. So you're gonna have to try and order this online if you really want it. And I'm wondering, is his mouth molded differently? Is like they change his face to try and make him look like he's like yelling or something like that? It's kind of weird. This is an actual image of the toys, and I'm perfectly fine with it just being like, you know, a repaint of Starscream. I mean, that's what Thundercracker and Skywarp are. But, you know, here I have the Henkei molds, but they are much smaller. So when you compare them to, like, let's say Optimus Prime, you know, it's smaller. And, you know, the Earthrise mold obviously matches, you know, and that to me, I think makes the mold much more worth it, because I think the Voyager scale works for the Seekers. Now, these Pounce and Wingspan, if you did not get the exclusives when they came out, there was box sets where you had to buy like Pounce in one box set, and I think Wingspan came in like a 2-pack with another one, or I could be reversing them, I could be wrong. Well, it's the same exact mold, but now they're going to release them together as a 2-pack finally. And I'm wondering if they're going to do Fastlane and Cloudraker. You know, maybe they might be a Walmart exclusive. We don't know. You know, I really do hope that Fastlane and Cloudraker, you know, get shown up as well. And it's not the Takara, like, odd. I don't care for that pink color on them. but it looks to be like it's more based on the Takara, recolor for the Decepticon clones, and Pounce and Wingspan. And it's cool because like a lot of these 1987, 1988, 1989 Decepticon Autobot characters are finally getting some showtime. I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, how come they keep redoing Optimus and Megatron? But really, when you think about it, like Optimus and Megatron, they are Transformers. I want to see more Rodimus, I want to see more Ultra Magnus, I want to see more Galvatron and Cyclonus. But they're always going to like at least go back to Optimus and Megatron in some way, because and they're always going to go back to like those beginning characters and beginning molds, because in reality it's Transformers. But they are showing a lot of love to different characters, and I would love to see more characters out of that too. They are doing a lot of different things as well. I mean, here you can see with the Netflix series, I talked about Mirage being trustworthy or not. John Warden himself said that this is Mirage in Decepticon disguise, at least as far as what we know. We don't know anything yet about the cartoon yet, except for it's coming out in June, and with the new molds, like this is Mirage. And if you didn't get your hands on Hound, which from what I've been seeing, he's been kind of like a shelf warmer, you could still get your hands on at least the this version of Hound. I think I talked about this during Toy Fair, was the Tiger Electronics Generation 2 handheld game. Now, if you grew up playing these handheld games, you'll know they hurt your hands. They don't play really well. I'm not really a fan of Tiger Electronic games myself, but they were the poor man's Nintendo, and we had a few of them growing up. I remember pretty much everybody at least had one or several of these Tiger Electronic games, and I'm really surprised to see this come back. Generation 2 Tiger Electronics game, man, it brings back a lot of memories, these kind of like these type of games. So if you do want to get your hands on this, I don't know, it's just not my thing, but it is something for the collector's market, or someone who wants to see what like those type of games were in years past. But like all this toy news has been coming out left and right, and I've been happy to talk about it. I do have another Transformers discussion video coming very soon. In fact, I finally finished my script for my next Transformers discussion, so you can expect to see that very, very shortly. And I might be doing toy reviews and stuff, so you can stay tuned for all that. Be sure to be watching the different Transformers cartoons on the different websites that are available, like Tubi, but you can also stay tuned on the channel for a lot more. But I want to know what you guys think about all this toy news. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. I've got plenty more coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for all that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.